Most people spend their entire lives running from pain, running from loss, running from the one thought they're most afraid to face. And here's the brutal truth. The Stoics figured out 2,000 years ago what most people never will. There are 5 realities about life that once you accept them, everything changes, but most people aren't ready to hear them. Welcome back. This channel exists for one reason, to give you the timeless wisdom that actually holds up when life gets hard. In this video, I'm going to walk you through 5 of the most difficult and most liberating truths from Stoic philosophy. Not the easy ones, not the quotes you see on Instagram. The ones that sting a little, the ones Marcus Aurelius wrestled with on the battlefield, the ones Epictetus, a former slave, used to survive the unsurvivable. One of these truths will be about something you think you control, but don't. Another will completely change how you see the people you love. And the 5th one, most people refuse to accept it until it's too late. If you've ever felt like life is happening to you instead of for you, drop a yes in the comments right now. Let's get into it. In 55 AD, a young boy named Epictetus was born into slavery in ancient Rome. He had no rights, no freedom, no future, at least not by the world's definition. His master, a cruel man named Epictetus, once twisted Epictetus's leg to test his pain tolerance. Epictetus calmly warned him, "You are going to break it." When the leg snapped, he simply said, "Did I not tell you?" No rage, no breakdown, no bitterness. How is that even possible? Because Epictetus had already accepted something most of us spend our whole lives denying. That there are things in this world we simply cannot control. And fighting that truth doesn't make you strong. It makes you a prisoner of your own expectations. Here's where most of us are today. We live in a culture that sells control. Control your brand, control your image, control your outcomes. And when life doesn't cooperate, when the relationship ends, when the job disappears, when the body starts failing, we don't just feel sad, we feel betrayed. Like something went wrong, like the universe broke its promise. But the Stoics would say the promise was never made. You imagined it. There is a kind of peace available to you that most people never find, not because it's rare, but because it requires accepting truths that are genuinely uncomfortable. These 5 truths won't make life easier, but they will make you stronger. And by the time we reach the 5th one, the one the Stoics called the ultimate test of a wise person, you'll understand why so few people ever truly live with freedom. The average person makes 35,000 decisions every single day. The Stoics say most of them don't matter. Here's why. Number 1. You control almost nothing, and that's not a weakness. The Stoics divided all of existence into 2 categories, things within your control, your thoughts, your choices, your effort, your response. Everything else, not yours. Your reputation, not yours. Other people's opinions, not yours. The economy, your health, the weather, the traffic, your past, not yours. This isn't pessimism, this is precision. When Marcus Aurelius led Rome, the most powerful empire in the world, he wrote in his private journal, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." He was an emperor, he had armies, he had wealth beyond imagination, and yet he reminded himself daily that his power was limited. Why? Because he watched men destroy themselves chasing control they never had. Think about the last time you were truly anxious. Really think about it. Was it about something you could fix, or something outside your reach? Almost always, it's the latter. And Stoicism says the moment you stop pouring energy into what you can't control, you have more power than you've ever had. Number 2, pain is not the enemy. Avoidance is. Here's where it gets uncomfortable. Most of us have been trained by culture, by comfort, by social media, to see pain as a signal that something has gone wrong. Hurt feelings, avoid the person, hard conversation, send a text, difficult emotion, scroll it away. The Stoics had a practice called voluntary discomfort. They would deliberately choose difficulty, cold, hunger, silence, hard labor, not as punishment, as preparation. Seneca wrote, "Set aside a certain number of days during which you shall be content with the scantiest and cheapest fare, so that you can say to yourself, 'Is this the condition that I feared?'" The point wasn't suffering, the point was to prove to themselves that they could survive what they feared. And when the real hard moments came, and they always come, they weren't blindsided, they were ready. Think about that one thing you've been avoiding, the conversation, the decision, the truth. The Stoics would say your avoidance of it is costing you more than facing it ever would. Here's a question I want you to sit with. Which of these two truths hit you hardest? The one about control or the one about avoidance? Drop it in the comments. I read every single one. And if this is already making you think differently, hit the like button right now. It genuinely helps this channel reach people who need this. Number 3. The people you love will not always be there earlier. I mentioned that one of these truths would change how you see the people you love. This is it. The Stoics practice something called Memento Mori. Remember that you will die, but they extended it further. Remember that everyone you love will also die, or leave, or change into someone you no longer recognize. That sounds dark. It isn't. The Stoic practice of negative visualization asks you to do something radical. Imagine, for just 1 minute, that the person you love most is gone. Picture their empty chair, their quiet phone, their side of the bed, not to spiral into grief, but to wake up to what you already have. Research from positive psychology actually supports this. Studies show that people who regularly visualize loss report higher daily gratitude and stronger relationships. The Stoics didn't wait for tragedy to appreciate life. They built appreciation into their daily practice. The question is, are you waiting for loss to realize what you had? Number 4. You are not who you think you are. This one is quieter, but it cuts deeper. The Stoics believed that most people spend their lives performing, playing a role for an audience that isn't even watching. Epictetus said, first, say to yourself what you would be, then do what you have to do. But most of us have it backwards. We act for others first, and then wonder why we feel hollow. The Stoic concept of the inner citadel, your rational, authentic self, says that your true identity is not your job title, your income, your follower count, or your reputation. It is how you think, how you respond, who you are when no one is watching. And here's the hard part. Most people have never met that person. They've been so busy managing their image that they've lost contact with their character. The Stoics would issue you a challenge today. Strip away the titles, the labels, the roles. Who are you then? Now, here's the part most people never reach. The 5th truth, the one the Stoics called the hardest and the most freeing of all. Most people refuse to accept this one until life forces them to, but you're still here, so you're ready. Number 5. A good life is not given. It is chosen every single day. Remember where we started. Epictetus, a slave with a broken leg, no rights, no freedom, no path forward by any worldly measure, and yet he became one of the most influential philosophers in human history. Emperors studied his words. Generals carried his writings into battle. His ideas outlived empires. How? Because he understood something that most free people never do. Freedom is not a condition, it is a decision. The Stoics believed that virtue, living with wisdom, courage, justice, and discipline, was the only true good. Not wealth, not comfort, not even health. Those things are preferred, they're nice to have, but they are not the foundation of a good life. The foundation is choice. Every morning you wake up and you choose, consciously or not, what kind of person you will be that day. Whether you will respond or react, whether you will grow or drift, whether you will live by your values or by your moods. Most people make that choice unconsciously, and then they wonder why their life feels like it belongs to someone else. Marcus Aurelius, a man who ruled an empire, survived plagues, wars, and the deaths of his children, wrote these words in his private journal, words he never intended for anyone else to read. The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. He wasn't writing for history, he was writing to remind himself every single day that the obstacle is not the enemy of the good life. The obstacle is the path, and here's what that means for you. That difficult truth you've been avoiding. That's the path. That relationship you've neglected, that's the path. That version of yourself you've been putting off becoming, waiting for the perfect moment, the perfect conditions, the perfect circumstances. The conditions will never be perfect. The Stoics didn't wait for the perfect moment. They chose the moment they were in. You cannot control what happens to you. You will experience pain. The people you love will not always be there. You may not yet know who you truly are, but you get to choose what you do with all of it. That choice, made deliberately, made repeatedly, is what the Stoics called the good life. Not comfort, not success, not applause, a life chosen on purpose, every single day. Conclusion. Let's bring this home. Truth 1, you control almost nothing, and releasing that is your first act of real strength. Truth 2, avoidance costs you more than pain ever will. Truth 3, the people you love are temporary, so love them like it. Truth 4, you are not your image, you are your character. And truth 5, the good life is not waiting for you, it is being built or neglected right now, with every choice you make. Epictetus lost everything by the world's measure, and he became unbreakable. The question the Stoics leave you with is simple. What are you choosing to build with what you've been given? If this video made you look at something differently, hit that like button. It takes 2 seconds, and it genuinely helps this channel grow. Subscribe, because every week I bring you the wisdom that holds up when life gets hard. And next week's video on how Marcus Aurelius stayed calm while his entire world was falling apart, that one is going to hit even harder. And tell me in the comments which of these 5 truths hit you the hardest. I want to know.